Hey there, friend. How you doing? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. We are checking in for your energies, Pisces. We are going to do a bit of a focus today on career and finances. So whether, whatever stage you are at, maybe you're looking at retiring, maybe you're looking at a change in your career, maybe you're having a bit of trouble or challenges with current team members, or you're just looking at shifting things up and seeking some guidance. So let's get into it. It will be a general read. Let's go. So for our Pisces, what do we need to know? Thank you, Spirit. Career. First up, energy. Wow. We've got a Knight of Emotions and the Tower. This is giving me shivers in my body. Whatever's coming on in here, there's an offer that might surprise you, Pisces. I've got like tingles all over my body. I've got tingles all over my body. I know that sounds a little weird, but that's a really good sign. All right. One more thing. Look, and then Ace of Emotions. Wow. There is something here that in your current energy that wants to show up, that feels exciting, that feels really supportive. And I think this might capture your breath a little bit and with whatever is coming on in. There's a connection here. There's an offer here. There's some proposal or some opportunity. And this could be after, you've been really wanting to succeed and really wanting to drive something forward when it's come to your career. But I like this because there's an emotional connection to it, and there seems to be a fresh start in something for you, maybe after some difficulty, So I really like this. Let's have a look at what may be challenging this. You do have the Ace of Voices. You do have the Knight of Voices. You do have the Six of Voices and the Ten of Materials. I do look at this position, when we're looking at the challenges, these could be some parts of you that through whatever process that you may be in right now, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career and things that you want to do and achieve, there could be some interesting conversations that come through, or something that, again, with the shock, it's like there's a conversation, it's here, let's go. But there could be some like straightforward things that you may have to address that could be a little bit uncomfortable, or there could be some challenging conversation, but I'm not taking it as a bad thing. I think it's just putting, maybe if you're going through interviews, or maybe, someone wants to express themselves, and if you weren't anticipating it, the only way they know how to deliver it is straightforwardly. And maybe that can be a little bit confronting. But ultimately, I feel like this is about some conversation, and it's very direct, it's very true to the point. But what you may also be having right now is that with this change in this place, I feel like it may be changing dynamics around your home life too. So, sometimes, and especially with circumstances right now, a lot of people, for a long time perhaps have been working from home or have had hybrid environments. And this could be, something of that nature where that changes it up and makes things a little bit different on the home front. So again, I think, I feel this is all positive. It's just managing it and working it out. And look, to have underneath the Six of Inspiration, there's lots of success on the other side. Let's get some advice for you. You've got the Nine of Emotions. I didn't realize how crooked this was. Okay. Nine of Emotions. The advice for Pisces. You've got Five of Voices and Page of Inspiration. I do feel like with some of you, there may be a matter, and it's interesting, it's got the Nine of Voices underneath, and this was sneaking in a little bit, and I wanted to see what else came out. So there could be also some element here that you've got some aspirations right now that you're wanting to move towards, perhaps wanting to grow, wanting to expand, wanting to achieve when it comes to your career. I feel wherever you're heading to, it's in the right direction, but there may be, some hard conversations along the way. I do feel like you're in a place that it's important to connect to what makes you happy. But there's still there is something here which is swords energy. So I don't know if in between this, there is a little bit of conflict going on after some conversations or after you've shared something or someone's shared something with you. But ultimately, if you're feeling like there's a little bit of conflict, wherever this is going or whatever this is expanding to, you do have the page of inspiration. So it feels very supportive, and it feels like this is like page of wands. There's some, again, exciting news or exciting step forward here in terms of wherever this is going. Yeah, I can see whatever it is too. This is something that you deeply want to work on, and you want it to grow. I feel like, again, this will be a very significant financial supportive impact to your life and to your business, and put you in a place. I think for some of you, I don't know, maybe you struggle too with asking what you want. Like if someone said to you, and this is a really cool thing that I've heard, and I was guiding someone as they were working, they like had this massive opportunity and pitch. And one of the things that came across is a lot of the time people sometimes get asked, or how much is it? Or, how much do you want to be paid? Or what are you earning now? And, especially if we want to increase our income, our earnings, potential, whatever it may be. And one piece of advice that we came up with that had really supported them is sharing what your desire is. It's not necessarily having to answer the question, but saying, this is what my goal is. You don't have to tell them what you're earning. You don't have to give away all of it to that degree, especially again if you're applying for jobs wanting to increase your income and you feel you're sealing yourself because you're like, oh well, maybe they'll only give me $20,000 as an example. You can be really clear what your goal is versus this is how much I earn. And there's something here about that I feel like the challenge for you may be talking up for what you want, for what is going to be really supportive for you and your family and your own growth. So that just, for some reason, it's taking this on a roundabout kind of way, but that's what I feel is happening here. And your advice is, go for it. I know you're worried about something here. So let's have a little bit more of a look at what this Five of Voices is about. Thank you, Spirit. We've got the 10 of Inspiration. So there's some difficulty or some challenge here that around communication that is weighing on you. What action should we be taking here? Thank you, Spirit. The Empress energy. I feel like this is about holding your own space, being open, being a leader, being generous, being supportive, and staying grounded. Anything else we need to know about this Empress energy and the advice here? Yeah. There's something about time and space that I feel is incredibly important to help something balance out. So I feel in the mix here, you've got some challenging conversation going on with someone or something when it comes to your career or expanding your financial life. But there is something here that's wants to balance out or will be balancing out. Let me get a little bit more here. Hermit energy, what do we need to know? The Hanged Man. Yeah, okay. So there's definitely some reflection that's being asked of you in terms of, the action to be taking and what to move towards here. Look, okay, you've got 3 times this has come up. So there's some special insight you have here. The Empress, you're very intuitive, very insightful. You've worked really hard to get here and probably have had to break some hearts. You probably had to have some difficult conversations. But you've led a life that's allowed to humble you and allowed you to nurture yourself and also nurture others. But to get there, you also had to go through the hard yards. So remember that. And there's something here about, I feel like peace, harmony, balance, truth. and things coming your way, working your way. But there is an element here that there could be some question of what you really want. There could be some aspect to some reflection on, yeah, there's some reflection here. Share more. Yeah. On what you really want. It's like you've got kind of two energies sitting on your shoulder, you know, and in a little bit of an impasse with it. Two of Pentacles, what do we need to know? So there's something else happening around you or in your life here that is causing a little bit of a challenge, it seems, Pisces. And the challenge seems to be more about what you want, what makes you happy. And reflecting some truth about this matter. I feel this is greater than just the career aspect. I feel like this has a little bit more of an impact to your overall life or overall energy. So another significant piece to the puzzle, which seems to be related to a person, okay? This is not just about the things that you want to pursue. There seems to be something or someone around you that I feel there is some reflective energy going on, or some insight here, because something feels a little bit unbalanced that you're wanting to get some peace with. Yeah, there could be just a strong negotiation, and that could be challenging you. But I feel either which way, what you come out, you will come out on top. But I think there's some reflection of what makes you happy. And I think sometimes those conversations of being honest and direct and true to ourselves can be a little bit of a scary thing, you know. But ultimately, there may be some people you need to reach out with or reach out to and make some form of amends. And, you know, maybe there's people that, it doesn't necessarily mean amends, but maybe people that you've worked with before, or, you know, you connect with on something that you're wanting to accomplish here. And then they're kind of, you know, maybe they're in the workplace. Maybe they work in your building. Maybe there's something, an energy or a person or a situation that you're like, damn it. Or maybe, you know, they want to connect with something or someone that you've worked with before, and you need to reach out and make contact. There's something that feels a little uncomfortable, and there's a little bit of reflective energy on what you should be doing and the action you should be taking. I just feel like there's someone that you may need to connect to or make a little bit of peace with, or maybe even just share some great news that you have. But there's something about someone in this mix that makes me feel a little uncomfortable. But that could be part of your growth and part of closing a chapter and part of not having to hide or hold back yourself, okay? So I'm taking this quite positively. Can you share what's hidden here that we need to see? What's hidden here that we need to see? Yeah, okay. So we do have false person and journey. Let's get a little bit more on that. We had mature woman and sudden wealth. This energy feels more about you stepping outside some belief system that you've had about yourself or about achieving something. That's what this false person energy feels more about. And I feel like there's a change. So whatever change is coming in, I think it keeps going back. I feel like there's been an uncomfortable circumstance that's potentially happened throughout your career, okay? And it may be with a person, a boss, a workplace. It could be even part of a family dynamic that again, there's some uncomfortableness. I don't know any other word to explain it. So, and then when you're met with it, it's like, oh my God, do I have to deal with this person or have this conversation or, show up and be all friendly when I don't feel good around this. But sometimes too, people who may have known us from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it may be, they have a certain version of what they may have known us back then, or you may have a certain version of how you remember them back then, and people can change significantly in that time, right? But sometimes that's just how you remember them, and that's kind of imprinted. And I feel whichever direction this is coming, obviously, if someone has been deceitful, hasn't done the right thing, or whatever it may be, watch what you say. If they're a gossiper, watch what they say. If you know that they've taken something, you don't lend them money or give them money. Maybe it won't come back. You know what I mean? So there's certain things to protect yourself in a smart way, but you can still show up to situations to handle it. But it could also be too that you also, because you see someone or know someone from your past that you may be connecting to, or again, it feels like somebody that that you've had an uncomfortable conversation with or experience with, that you then put yourself back into that time and place and maybe get a bit of imposter syndrome or feel a little bit difficult about. But what I feel is happening here, you're re-navigating, okay? And I think you're coming out with parts of you that do things differently and can show up differently. The 10 is also like, the Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like there's something significant that is turning towards a positive outcome. Again, I see a lot of positivity here, but I feel there's a lot of reflection of your past, of past experiences. And again, the past gives us hindsight. It can also allow us to have foresight. There's lots of benefits of where we've been. And I really want you to take your experiences and what you've learned as a really, the beneficial parts to support yourself in whatever change that you're making. Because I feel like there's a bit of an old narrative of self, or someone has an old narrative of you or you of them. And there's something here that, again, I just keep getting really uncomfortable energy about. But I'm seeing this change. I'm seeing, there's something important here about a destination, about an arrival, or about a change in dynamics. And I think you might be surprised and they might be surprised, because there is a winning aspect here. So whatever that you could be fearing underneath, a person or having to face something or them facing you, I'm seeing a positive outcome in the long run. I think this is for you a time to play your cards, play your game, and do it your way. And I feel like you're going to come out on top here, okay? I really, really do. I'm going to get just a few more cards when it comes to... Whoa, that's a lot. Thank you, Spirit. I'll take that. To further guidance here on what power to take away as part of this experience that you may find yourself in, or, to navigate things right now with what you're wanting to achieve. So you, the Muse, and then you've got Creator Alchemy. You have got What Does Your Soul Say? And I think this is part of the reflective energy. Rise and Success in Transformation. And that's just put a smile on my face, okay? So I do feel like there's some significant change happening, okay? 10 is a lot about change and completion as well. Old version, new version. You, the Muse, are the queen, the king, the best friend. The person who stands up, who leads, who people want to be connected to, people who it's like knowing thyself. And sometimes it is putting on that persona that you need to become the thing that that you need to be for that moment in time. And sometimes it's used a lot in neurolinguistics, right? When, example, if you're going for a job interview, you put on those shoes. Before you put on those shoes that you want to put on those power shoes. So those shoes have, it's putting the energy in those shoes that when you step into those shoes, I am confident, I'm brave, I'm, trusted, and I know the exact thing to say at the right time. Like there's this amazingness about it. Same as that jacket. If you have a handbag, that handbag, there's something about putting the power into it and becoming a version of yourself that you need to be for that moment in time. And the creator alchemy with that is about the balancing. It's about the workings of something here that's really important. But the most important thing of all this is, what does your soul say? And I feel like there's some reflection here of what this Empress energy means to you in terms of yourself, your truth, and what you want to bring in and what you want to create in the world. And I feel like this is time to step up to the plate. Step up to the plate in a new way. I understand imposter syndrome sometimes can come in, but this is stepping up in a new way to go after the things that you want. You are not the old version of yourself. You are a new version. And we can, I feel like whatever is challenging you, or whoever is challenging you in between, there's something powerful with it that I feel is allowing you to it's kind of like, that little chip or that little thorn that's been maybe sitting there, no one's known about. And it's like you get to get in there and pull it out and flick it, and it's just, double birdie up kind of thing. That's the kind of energy it's giving to me. So I feel like this is going to give you actually a lot of power in whatever you're doing to rise to the occasion of the things that are true to you, speaking your truth, showing up in your truth, believing in yourself in a new way, and knowing that you have the skills, the talent, the power to do what you need to do. But it doesn't need to be hard. It can be soft, and what I mean by soft is that gentleness, is that eloquent, attractive energy. If you're a masculine, it's walking in there with confidence, with openness. There's something about it that I feel is very, that you hold, that's very innate, but also masterful in your own right? With the Empress energy. And then rise for success in transformation. You've got change happening. There's some surprising element that's showing up. So these are parts of yourself it's asking you to connect into and remember throughout this time where change is being called upon you. Maybe, again, you've got some niggle. Maybe you want to, expand your horizon, start a side gig, make a change in your career, or just finally get over people that have challenged you to a degree that has made you not feel great about your worth, yourself. And it's time to now rise. So what do you need to do a little bit differently? Because ultimately, yep, you're happy. That's fantastic. You're succeeding and moving towards this 10 of Pentacles. If you're not there already, this is fantastic. And I think you've just got one thing here. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it just needs to be tidied up. And I don't know in what context that needs to be tidied up, but I feel like there's some amends or something that needs to just be resolved. That's just going to alleviate you from a lot of things, but it could be just something minor, but it has so much power to give you the relief or that extension or expansion or that letting go of something to take you to the next level. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there, Pisces. Love you to bits, and we'll connect soon. Bye.